Magazine readers, welcome back to Dance Magazine's YouTube channel. My name is Haley Hilton and this is Dancer Diary, where I'm chronicling my life as a dancer in New York City. Today we are talking about partnering. So many audition breakdowns request strong partnering skills, but it is so hard to hone and develop those skills as an adult because there aren't many opening partnering classes for adults. Studios like Broadway Dance Center and Steps on Broadway don't offer them. You know, I've heard that there are some contact improv classes that you can find around the city, or, you know, every so often there'll be some pop-up pas de deux classes, but overall I've been really struggling to find them. It seems like they're few and far between. And so in lieu of all that, I still want to develop these skills, and I've been starting to know how I can. And so I decided to speak to an expert, of course, because that's what we do here over at Dancer Diary. I spoke with Orion Duckstein. He is a professor at Adelphi University and a former Paul Taylor dancer. We had a really great conversation where he gave a bunch of really good pieces of advice for all of us as we go into partnering classes, and some things that we can do in the meantime without those regular partnering classes to attend. More from our full conversation can be found over on Dance Magazine's website with the article that accompanies this vlog. Other than that, I decided that we needed to take matters into our own hands, and I reached out to two of my really good friends, Luke Rands and Tate Biesinger, to get into a studio and work on some partnering skills together. I went on TikTok and Instagram and I found some lifts from videos that I thought were interesting or cool or helpful, and we decided to get in there and just test it out, try it out, and it was so fun. Seriously, after we all decided we need to come back and make this a regular thing, and I actually think it might be a really productive way to improve your partnering, is just getting into the studio with some friends and trying things out. And it was a safe space. They're wonderful. It was amazing. I'm going to show you some footage from that rehearsal that we had together. Go check it out. Hi, Dance Magazine readers. I'm here with my friends Tate Biesinger and Luke Rands, and we're going to do some partnering today for you. All right, which one do we start with? There's the one where she's like on the plane.
Oh yeah, from the diagonal.
Sorry guys, and she just what can I do to help? Whoa, sorry! Oh my god. Sorry. That was my shoe. This is the shoes. Did you guys want
into it?
Woo! I think so. Is there anything I can do to help? She like falls.
One back the night when everything changes. You won't reply, I'll go back to strange.
That was a lot easier than the last one. Sorry, my foot. We're gonna pop on a moment.
You actually, Haley, you actually use your shoulder to push off.
I think what it is after we come down, we grab the left arm first for this. Boom. No, wrong. Right to the left.
Got it.
Right.
Actually, okay, I do know one thing in partnering. It seems like when you spot, you like spot there, like right here.
We did it!
Yeah.
That was hot.
That was
Was
it.
that your shoulder?
No? Oh, I thought you were saying like I thought it was something like Gen Z term. That was a
Oh,
pop!
that's a hot. That was a She's literally having to do a lunge. If I were to try to do the shoe student right now,
No, I wouldn't.
Better?
yes, that's it. And then just around.
That one? Oh.
So Haley, you're gonna do your right leg now.
Okay.
And dark scheming, yeah, you do.
Gorge.
Yay!
I was just gonna say, I didn't know if you wanted a little like.
Oh yeah! This is great! Face here!
All my friends think you're vicious, and they say you're suspicious.
People said jazz hand, it was great.
Dreaming and dark scheming, yeah, you do.
or if the's a different way that you've done something before. Any ideas?
No, and then I don't even know how they go. It actually might be towards me, and then you push and then go up. Yeah, so it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how can I help?
I think just really use my shoulders to like push until you're up.
And then,
Yeah.
You're holding me down and holding me down. You're killing me slowly.
Yeah.
that was fun.
Nice. Really?
Nice sway.
Yeah, do you want to watch?
I didn't like fully lock out, but
Just when you're not around me.
Yay! Okay. Yay! Thanks so much for following along, Dance Mag. I hope this was helpful for you as you guys put your own partner rehearsal plans together. Come back next month to see what we have happening. So we had a brief interview with them where they talked about what they feel like helps make a good partner and some pointers and advice. Check out my interview with the boys. Jade, can you introduce yourself for us?
Absolutely. I am Tate Biesinger. I am currently a senior at Marymount Manhattan College, and I actually grew up dancing with Haley when I was a little kid, and so that's how I know Haley, and we've just stayed really good friends throughout our careers in dance and training, and so happy to be here today and join in on this discussion.
It's true. Tate and I grew up dancing together. He was always just this insanely talented little protege, and it's just been so cool to watch him succeed. Tate was Billy Elliot. He's amazing. Tell us about yourself.
Hey guys, so my name's Luke Rans. I grew up in Chicago. I was a gymnast for like 6 years as a kid and then transitioned into dancing when I was like 14, 15. Just studied dance, like all forms, at a little mom and pop studio in my hometown, and then went on to study musical theater at Brigham Young University. From there, I did the national tour of Anastasia, which actually was a ton of partnering. I feel like that was my entire track in the show, was just doing lifts and stuff. So now I'm here in New York City doing the actor life. So it's good to be here. Thanks.
I'd love to hear from your perspective. What do you feel like makes a good partner?
Well, I have two silly things which I think are just good reminders for myself, but I always like partnering with someone who has good breath and who wears deodorant. Like, it's a really nice courtesy, even though we're sweaty and smelly, and that's part of like this partnering experience. There's just some kind of etiquette there that I think is nice and professional. And then I think communication is a huge factor. And someone who consistently checks in and doesn't always just doesn't assume, realizing what you're doing and how it felt, and if there's anything you can do to make it go smoother for both parties. I think that's something that I think is really helpful.
Love that. Yes. Those are all great pieces of advice.
I think partnering in dance really just feels like a reflection of like real life partnership and like real life working together. Like when you're in the studio working on these lifts and these turns and stuff, it really is just a workshopping environment where you get to try things out and like go for it and try it again. And like in that process, like Tade said, like you need to be able to communicate with each other and say like, hey, I got this part, like you can trust me, I'll take care of this, or like, hey, like could you give me a little bit more of this would help me out personally. And just being able to be like aware and be able to read the room of like when it's your turn to like give a little bit more, when it's your turn to like let go and let your partner do a little bit more of the work, and being able to talk about that and be really conscious of the fact, I think is just like that awareness is so important.
I love that. Are there any things that you feel like might make someone kind of difficult to partner with?
Like Luke said, just being aware. I think that like there are signals when we dance, right? Like if you're gripping someone's finger too hard, or you're not like resisting or giving someone enough like pressure so that you can find that magical energy in those lines together. Some of that we actually don't even need to verbalize because we can already feel that push and pull within our own body. And so that's kind of a jumbled answer, but those are some of my thoughts to that question.
It's not jumbled at all. I think that was great. Any thoughts on your end, Luke?
This might be a little heady, but like I feel like the only thing that really gets in the way of a learning process when you're partnering is like insecurity or pride. Like if you're bringing like so much stress into it that you're like, oh, like I don't think I'm good at this, or it's this, like I don't want to be touched, or like in a way where you're uncomfortable with it, I think that'll translate, and it just like makes for a hard experience to like trust each other. um I know for like myself, when I approach someone and I'm feeling like, okay, I need to like ask them to like jump a little bit more. But if you approach it in a way that's like, hey, like I'm so sorry, like I know that this is like this is a lot to ask, but like could you like maybe jump a little bit more? It makes it about them. And it's like kind of creates this friction of, it's like, oh, you like don't think I'm doing well. But if you're just like, hey, like it would help me if you pleate a little bit more. It sets this precedence of like, it's not an issue, it's not personal, I'm not stressed about it, so why would you be stressed about it? It's just like part of the game. And then I think on the flip side, if a partner would like get that, if like my partner came to me and said like, hey, could you like do this for me, and I'm like, whoa, like I I don't need to do that. You need to do this. Like, if you approach it with that mentality, like, it won't work. Like, no, it'll be clunky. It won't look good. It won't feel good. So if you just like approach it with an open mind, things will go a lot better.
Love that. It sounds like just like being humble.
Because I've been in situations where it's like not working, and you're like, what's going on? Like, I wish this person would do this a little bit more. I've done it with other people and it works. And like, and they're like, hey, could you do this? And you're like, ah. And then you do it and it works. And you're like, oh, so the problem was me. You're like, it was literally me.
Can I add on to that, Haley? I think there's this tendency to constantly be like apologetic when partnering and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, like it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault. And I just think like when we're dancing by ourselves, at least usually like in my experience, I'm not constantly like telling myself, like if I fall out of like a pirouette, I'm not like, oh, I'm so sorry, Tate, or like I'm, oh, like I just am like, okay, let's try it again. Like it didn't work, so like it's trial and error. And I think it's the same way when partnering, is that of course there's going to be like mishaps, and maybe someone gets hit in the nose, or you accidentally hit someone when you don't mean to. And there's definitely a time and a place to give an apology. Don't get me wrong, but I think that communicating and checking in doesn't just have to look like an apology. I think it can really look like constructive. That gives you more confidence, and it no longer becomes something that you feel fearful of, but that you feel like you have like faith in, that you're like, yes, I can, like we're gonna get this, and we're gonna accomplish this. And there's this kind of like switch in your mentality.
Yes. You guys are great. What do you feel like are some action items that someone can do to improve their partnering work?
I've come to the realization that, man, if I'm going to book studio space, like we're constantly booking studio space to work on like solo stuff or stuff for our reels, or just like practicing things by ourselves. But why not just call another dancer who you know and be like, let's work on partnering together. Like, let's go spend an hour working on contact improv, where it's just all led from instincts and trusting each other and taking risks. Or maybe it's like, let's do something really classical today and let's learn some kind of variation. Or maybe it looks like swing and you're doing some Lindy Hop together. We as dancers just need to take that initiative ourselves and start there, which is what we kind of did this week too, right? We just approached each other and we're like, let's do, and we had 3 people, so then we were like, well, let's come up with some lifts or try some lifts that maybe we could do as 3 bodies instead of just 2 bodies. And so sometimes you can find creative outlets that way as well.
And I thought it was so fun. I had so much fun with you guys after I came back. That was a blast. We need to do that again.
I really haven't spent much time in partnering classes. Like, I think I've been to 2 in my whole life. Like, but I think everything I've gotten in terms of partnering has been either like on the job or just messing around with friends. On Anastasia, we had between when we'd get to a new city, we'd have a sound check, and then in between our lift call and sound check would be like 45 minutes, and we would just like show and tell, get each other to like do partners, and we're like, okay, like what lifts do you know? Like teach us a lift, like let's figure this out, or like I saw this video. Like I do that in college too. We just like pull up like so you think you can dance, be like, how do we do that? Like how do we do that lift? And like try and copy it. And just so much of my learning like has just come from like being in a studio with friends.
Doing it that way also kind of feels like takes pressure off. Like it's like we're just doing this together with friends, with people we trust to like find things. And it reminds you that I think probably a lot of partnering, especially outside of the classical world, is going to be trial and error and going to be some idea that a choreographer just like had in their head that you guys are like, let's give it a go. So that's great. Any final thoughts on partnering?
The importance of staying like physically fit. Like you can work out in the gym in ways that like help you like strengthen the muscles that you need to be able to do like lift people and do like presses and all those things. So you can find ways.
I think, I think it just comes down to why we dance in the first place. And I think it's because we yearn for this connection. And I think that is the coolest thing about partnering, or even just being in the room with other people, is that even when you are dancing by yourself, there's opportunities to connect with someone through eye contact. And to me, like that's a form of partnering as well. Like just this awareness of using the space and inviting another human into your world is like the first step of that partnership and that partnering experience. Challenging yourself in every situation to be aware of others. There are opportunities to connect. And I think those are all the precursors to being a good partner.
I feel like what I'm taking away from this, I'm like, partnering makes you a better person, I think. Like, like the skills that you need for partnering are like good human skills that make us better. So that's cool. Who knew? Who knew that this article would take that turn? I love it. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for talking with me today, you guys. You're both just amazing. I can't wait for our readers to see you dance. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for following along, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I learned so much from the experience, and I hope it was helpful for you too. Post your partnering videos. Let's see you guys in the studio. Check out my video on social media of us partnering. It was so fun. Anyway, come back next month to see what we have happening. And yeah. Mwah.